Mm-hmm. David, you've hadn't all been up and away for you. You've faced some challenging times. Where do you go in these difficult times?
Well, I want to go back to a point that John made, and you made it in a class when you came to teach my class this week about getting in the arena early. I think it's really important for young people to be out there and be tested early, go through adversity, and experience it, and take the hard knocks. When I was in my, I guess, late 20s, early 30s, I had responsibility for a team of about 50 speechwriters, researchers, and others in the White House during Watergate. And
were you in charge of tape recorders too?
No, I had responsibility for the 17-minute gaps. And it was a long ordeal. It was really like, I guess, coming through the Marine Corps together. But I thought the most important thing as a leader was that you really had to look after your people first. That was really important to keep their morale up, to make sure that they understood what was happening, you know, to define reality as best you understood it, but to really be a friend, in effect, to help them work through, because all of us were going through these agonies that we didn't know what the truth was. And we kept on being told one set of truth inside the White House that whitewashed the whole thing. And we were getting a whole different set of truths coming in from investigations and you know, Woodward Bernstein and the like. And there was this conflict or this tension. And should you stay? Should you leave? What should you do? How should you handle it? Who should you believe? And it was really important for us to have, as a group, to have this sort of ongoing set of sort of counseling and bonding inside. But then it was also important, you realize, first of all, you find out who your friends are in a crisis. You know, when the phone stops ringing and people disappear and they treat you as if you're some sort of pariah, you realize who your friends aren't. And it's interesting sometimes. Some of the people who were stuck with me the most during that time were actually Democrats who were friends and called up and said, look, I hate your president, I hate what's going on, but I care about you, are you okay? But I do think you need to, you really become acutely aware of how important the anchors are in your life. Whether it's family, faith, friends, those become, I think, just become essential to helping you go back through it. And that goes back to your true north point, having a compass that sort of embraces your values and your principles and sort of how you want to be in the world, makes a big difference. I must say, after you go through one or two things like that, you're ready to take anything on. There is nothing that scares you anymore. And I think that is actually a good place to be in life. To when you realize, okay, I don't care what you throw at me, it'll be okay. You know, I'll survive it. We'll get through it. I think to go back to John's point, I think if you've had mountaintop experiences, it helps a lot to have been at the bottom of the valley. It makes a big difference. You appreciate the mountaintops all that much more.